Today's story begins with a woman named Pample who lives alone in the middle of Snow Mountain. But this doesn't bother her much because she is an excellent climber and also a rescue volunteer. Today, she learns that a severe storm is approaching. However, as I mentioned, none of this is new to Pample. At her home, we also see pictures of two girls hanging on the wall. She has never really been alone. She has two daughters, but where they are now isn't revealed yet. Hopefully, we'll find out later. For now, Pample gets ready and heads to her friend Dave's shop. She even gets herself a coffee, which will prove very important later. Dave isn't exactly happy to see her go, but Pample insists it's her responsibility and that patrolling is her job. She argues that if she stayed home, who would rescue the people in trouble? Dave warns her about the impending heavy storm and advises her not to go out today. But Pample seems determined, as if something special requires her to go. So, Dave gives her some extra clothes and even lends her his jacket in case she needs it. After that, Pample calmly drives to her destination, where two cars are already parked. This means some people are still up there. A couple has come down because they had camped for 2 nights and are now heading home. During this time, Pample asks them about the owner of the other car, but they have no idea. This marks the beginning of Pample's journey. She must somehow bring that person back down because a storm is about to hit that no one has ever seen before. The journey doesn't start off smoothly. While climbing over the rocks, Pample's stick breaks. But it's not a big deal. She tapes it back together and keeps going. Friends, soon the storm begins. We can see the wind picking up strongly, and Pample notices this too, so she speeds up. After walking for a long time, she gets tired and takes a coffee break. Then she sets off again. The winds have become very strong now, so she puts on her warmer jacket because the risk of paralysis in such conditions is high. After walking a little further, she reached a path where tourists usually camp. However, when the weather is clear, if the weather is bad or there's a storm warning, this place becomes the most dangerous. When she saw the footprints there, they were from sneakers, which shocked her. Who would wear sneakers at such a high altitude? It must be that man with the car. So Pample started blowing her whistle to rescue him, hoping to signal him if he was nearby. Suddenly, Pample's foot slipped into a hole, and she lost her whistle. She suffered serious injuries to her feet, but for now she had to get out of there because the place would soon be covered in snow. She tried hard to climb up, succeeding on one of the last attempts, but then her foot slipped again. This time when she fell, she lost consciousness for 1 to 2 hours, meaning the real thrill of the story was about to begin. The person who had come to rescue someone else now had to fight dangerous weather and freezing cold to survive herself. Following the footprints, she saw a man sitting not far away, seemingly comfortable despite the storm. Even more surprising, he was wearing shorts. After seeing this, Pample quickly approached him. When she looked at his face, it was completely blue and frozen. He wasn't moving at all, but he was still breathing. Without wasting time, she dressed him in all the clothes she had and somehow helped him stand up. She tried to get some information from him, but he didn't respond to any questions. So she named him Sean. Her next task was to get him down as quickly as possible, but he refused to go. Sean kept wandering around, wasting a lot of time. If things continued like this, night would fall soon, and spending the night in such a place is extremely difficult. By 3 p.m., they still hadn't covered much distance. When Pample looked back, Sean was gone. He had jumped into a ravine. Luckily, it was a shallow ravine, but Sean injured his foot, making it very difficult for him to walk. Both sat on a rock edge to rest, where Pample tended to his wounds. But that was not enough. Due to hunger, Sean started eating snow, but she stopped him, warning that it could be fatal. She encouraged him to stay strong, but Sean had come here intending to end his life. Now Pample was urging him to live again. She helped him stand and continue moving. By 5 p.m., they had descended a bit to a place with some trees, and the storm had calmed down. Pample rested against a tree. Suddenly, Sean slipped and pulled Pample down with him. They both fell from a great height and sustained multiple injuries. We shouldn't say Pample's condition got worse since she had already fallen into that hole earlier, but Sean's condition deteriorated even more. To boost his morale, Pample tried to appear strong, but Sean told her to leave him. Why was she risking her life to save his? He didn't want to live anymore. No matter what, Pample refused to leave him. That was her promise. She gave him some tablets to ease the pain and warm socks to keep his feet warm, all while she was in pain herself, just to save the life of the person in front of her, because that was her duty, her responsibility. Sean tells her to call someone, but there's no signal here, nor do they have any backup. So whatever they have to do, they'll have to do it themselves. Otherwise, they'll both freeze to death in this cold. Pample starts moving forward with him, and soon they come across a river. They have to cross it. Luckily, there's a fallen tree trunk, broken and lying across the river, which Pample uses to cross easily. But when it's Sean's turn, what everyone feared happens. He falls into the river and disappears in an instant. Seeing this, Pample starts crying right there. there. She feels that she didn't save an innocent life today and failed to do her duty. These thoughts fill her with anger toward herself. But as they say, my friends, when the Almighty is with you, no one can harm you. Yes, the river pushes Sean, but it also pushes him back to the shore. Even better, Pampal sees him. However, his entire body is soaking wet, and walking now is risky. There's no path either. The two of them look at each other and laugh, because what just happened was nothing short of a miracle. Sean feels a surge of energy, but not for long, as his courage is fading and he can barely move. Pampal is in the same condition, but if she shows weakness, both of them might get stuck here forever. She tells him he has to stay strong and keep doing what she's doing. Keep singing the song she's singing and take steps forward in that direction. Sean listens to her. Well, her voice sounds like Neha Kakkar's, but still, Pampal relies on it. Occasionally, she thinks of her children. At least for their sake, she has to survive. She's determined not to let her courage falter in any way. She's putting all her effort into getting close to the car somehow. For now, they keep moving. Suddenly, a car passes by them on the road ahead, but their luck is so bad that it drives right past them. The driver inside doesn't see them. Sean becomes very frustrated with all this and starts shouting loudly. You can feel his energy here. If he had shouted like this earlier, maybe the car would have stopped. Pampal tries to calm him down, saying there's no need to panic anymore because they're quite close to their car. They have to keep moving. Pampal is right. They reach their car in no time. But then, my friends, something happens that Pampal never expected. Actually, when she left Sean standing outside and went to start the car, the thief escaped with it. Pampal was far more shocked than Sean was. A man who saved her life by putting his own in danger left without saying a word. At least he could have said goodbye. Maybe Sean was afraid she would hand him over to the police, which is why he took that step. Anyway, she returns home, but she's in very bad shape. She immediately eats and drinks something. During this time, she laughs a lot, but also cries. Even when she goes to take a bath, her tears don't stop. This is because in the room next to hers, the bodies of her two daughters lie. They died from suffocation due to a gas leak in the house. She was so busy with work that she hadn't even remembered that her daughters had died. And this tragedy had happened just yesterday. That's why yesterday was an extremely painful day for Pampal. Yet even in such a situation, she saved a person's life and gave them a chance to live again. Now you understand why she wanted to save that person and why she risked her life with such determination. But despite everything, she isn't happy because there are unanswered questions troubling her, causing sleepless nights. In the morning, she finds out that Sean has revealed everything to the media, including why Pampal took that step, but no one knows where Sean went afterward. Sean made Pampal a hero. Following that, one day a reporter came to her and asked some questions. Pampal wanted to meet Sean, but even the reporter didn't know where he was. Now she's determined to find him by any means and begins trying to get his number. The next day, when she goes to Dave's shop, she finds Sean already there, which is a bit strange but true. He had actually come to return her clothes, which he had given her during the survival ordeal. But Pampal wanted answers, and Sean himself starts giving them. His story was something like this. Years ago, he came here with his girlfriend, but she suddenly disappeared. Since then, his life felt like a withered tree, standing but hollow inside. He had come back to find her, sitting there, hoping she would somehow come and find him. But instead, he found Pampal, who came like an angel for him. That's why he came to thank her, because he realized life is very precious and shouldn't be lost like that. The life he is living now is the one she gave him, and he has come to see her as a god. After hearing his story, Pampal shares hers, how her negligence led to the death of her two daughters. She couldn't pay attention to them. There was no fixed time for coming and going from home. One night, due to a gas leak, her daughters died. Since that day, she has tried to end her life many times, but failed each time. So she decided to keep living and now save other lives because she no longer wants to run away from the truth, but live with it. Both become very emotional because in a way they are travelers in the same boat, but now they have reached the shore together. When she returns home, Pampal goes to her daughter's room and misses them deeply. In the end, we learn that Pampal adopted 4 children and moved somewhere else with them. She worked in some national parks while Sean continued to remind people everywhere that this life is the one Pampal gave him. And with that, this story ends here. Well, how did you like the story? Please be sure to let us know in the comments. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.